as you say, between what the federal government is saying and what the local authorities are saying. You saw the governor of Minnesota, in this case, express his frustration with ICE and the enforcement that's going on in the city of Minneapolis, but he was very clear in trying to point out and urging citizens to peacefully protest and to conduct themselves in a way that did not invite more violence. I think the key here is that the video, there apparently is going to be body camera video from the ICE agent perspective. They're going to have to go through that video frame by frame. But I think the key here is that law enforcement officials, from DHS perspective, they are loud and they're clear. As you say, the Secretary of Homeland Security calling this an act of domestic terrorism. They put out a statement that the woman was using the vehicle as a weapon to try to run over the ICE officers, that there were ICE officers injured. All those things now have to be investigated by the FBI. Also, the state police officials will be involved in this investigation. But here, what you've seen over the last few months is, as ICE expands their efforts across the country, tensions in the communities are rising. And there has to be, going forward, it would seem to me, more education about how people are to conduct themselves in these situations as well. But again, the investigation will have to determine exactly what happened. In this case, split-second decisions are being made. But also, we don't have any information from the woman's perspective and what she feared was going to happen to her as well.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave.
It looks as though there are some people, as you can see, throwing snowballs at some of these officials that are moving down towards what appears to be the scene. I want to get a closer look here because it looks as though there may be, I don't know if it's a skirmish yet, or obviously some kind of conflict. There's some exchange of words happening here. The snowballs keep flying there. It looks as though there's some news crews on the ground as well.
Shalom, shalom, Israel, first and foremost. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, double honor to the elders and apostles, wearing millstone. Shalom to mighty AHPARYAM, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharala, his brother Kawakab, coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson, we're going to be going into this thing where it is, this is the, what's the word? The issues that's currently going on, where there's a major divide in Babylon, and it's not just Jacob and Esau. Okay, it's not just Jacob and Esau, but it's also Esau and Esau, which is such an underreported thing that's been going on. And I even did a lesson not too long ago, I think last month, where there was I just found out about this new term called a family annihilator, where what happened was that there are Edomite men, primarily Edomite men, that are not going around, but basically they are killing their families and themselves. All right, basically, either be it their own flesh and blood or adopted, apparently, because that's also what I had seen. So yeah, I thought that it's such a funny thing where you even an Edomite man who is so who acts like, oh, I'm such a good American man, whatever, XYZ, whatever, white and whatever, is the biggest threat to his own family's lives. Like that is insane to me. All right, like I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be patronizing or anything. That's just like, well, yeah, I am kind of trying to be like that a little bit, but ultimately, it's like the facts still stand where there's a big number of, I don't know, Edomites to just, and the dude basically said that it couldn't be. I can actually remember the title of the video, so let me actually get it so you can reference it. Direct. Yeah, here. So here's the video. I'm gonna let the video. I'm not gonna let the video play actually. Well, maybe I'm tempted to. Okay, I'll let the video play a little bit. But basically, the thing here is how. You know what? Fuck it. Let's let the video play.
One of the most dangerous places for white people is within a white family. You see this man right here? He's one of the many white men that would be considered a family annihilator. A family annihilator is an individual, usually a white male, that takes the life of multiple members of their family. By the way, everyone in this photo is no longer here. These family annihilators usually have a history of domestic violence or some form of abuse within their family. By the way, everyone in this photo is no longer here. There have been many studies on the profile of these family annihilators. Some of the common characteristics of these family annihilators is that they are overwhelmingly male, little to no criminal history, and white. By the way, everyone in this photo is no longer here. Psychologists say the main motivation for these family annihilators is a high sense of self-righteousness. By the way, everyone in this photo is no longer here. If we're going to talk about black-on-black crime and violence, then we would be remiss if we did not talk about white-on-white violence and crime. By the way, everyone in this photo is no longer here. To the Caucasian community out there, the call is coming from inside the house, literally. And instead of focusing so much on blacks and Hispanics and the problems that we have within our families and communities, it would behoove you to police your own community and keep a watchful eye over your own families. By the way, everyone in this photo is no longer here. Everyone in this photo is no longer here. Every last one of them in this photo is no longer here. These are Asian children that were adopted by this white couple, and everyone in this photo no longer here. This photo as well, this entire family gone. And I could keep going, but I think you get the point. The most dangerous places for white people is within a white family. Part 2. You see this man right here? His name is Chris Benoit, and Chris Benoit was famous for his career as a professional wrestler in the WWF and WWE. If you're around my age, you probably remember him very well. Well, unfortunately, Chris Benoit is one of the many white men that would be considered a family annihilator. A family annihilator is an individual, usually a white male, that takes the lives of multiple members of their family. This is Chris Benoit's wife, Nancy, and that's his 7-year-old son, Daniel. And everyone in this photograph is no longer here. And there was a lot of controversy surrounding the family annihilation of Chris Benoit's family at his own hands. His friends argue that he suffered from severe CTE, brain damage. They believe that that brain damage is the cause of him snapping and taking the lives of his entire family and himself. See, the problem is Chris Benoit perfectly fits the profile of a family annihilator. According to psychologists, family annihilators are overwhelmingly male, usually have little to no criminal record, and are white. And despite his brain injuries, what he did to his family was absolutely heinous and a tragedy. Chris Benoit's story should be a cautionary tale to the Caucasian community. It doesn't matter where you fall in the social hierarchy or how well off you are. The imminent threat of white-on-white violence is very real. And while you focus so much on blacks and Hispanics and our families and communities, it would be very wise of you to police your own neighborhoods and keep a watchful eye over your own families, because the call is coming from inside the house, literally.
So yeah, basically you see that you see how basically Esau is just a threat to his own self, his own family, and stuff like that. He puts it's like he puts all the stuff to blame us for the way that we are and whatever, when by the way he is responsible for all that. And then the irony of that is just the fact that what's it called? What's the word? The irony of it is how Esau himself complained about all the crap that we are and we do, but yet look at what he's doing, and how he literally
would be
is just killing his own people. And this isn't even people with criminal records and all that stuff. It's people that just that just broke, and I just think the best, not broke as in financially broke. I mean broke as in like something just snaps in their head. All right, and then he said that they have a history of domestic abuse and all that stuff, but yet never got. These are like those good white men that these people are talking about. Like, if you've ever heard that thing where they say, oh, this is just a really good white man and stuff like that. He's a good guy. He just never heard of flying X, Y, and Z, and then lo and behold, some shit happens. This type of shit happens, and they're like, oh, he never showed any signs of this thing or anything like that. He always was just such a good person, X, Y, and Z. And their Edomite friends might have all the nice things to say about them, and we might have not seen or what's the word? Perceived any type of thing. But then, okay, well now outside, and then obviously, yeah, you have the what's it called? The police stuff with the domestic abuse and stuff like that, and then that just gets, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how that works. I don't know how exactly that works, but this whole domestic abuse system, domestic abuse thing is such a weird, slippery slope of wickedness, because oftentimes when the person is actually guilty, to me, it's from what I've seen, okay, there's no statistic. I'm not saying this is a fact, but I'm just saying anecdotally, whenever I've seen someone is actually getting abused, a man or a woman, the abuser is not arrested. But when there's someone that is not getting abused, or the woman is faking it more specifically, then that's when, okay, well, get that nigga locked up. And that's what I see. That's what I've seen. And it's not even just Jake Slocky for saying the N-word, but I've also seen it with, this one Korean dude, okay, who basically publicized his shit. He basically posted it online saying how his girlfriend, wife, whatever, I don't know if it was his girlfriend or wife or whatever, was living with him, and she was beating on herself, hitting herself, and she called the police and all this stuff, lied on him, doing all this stuff, trying to make it seem like he was abusive and whatnot. And that type of stuff is just like, and Slocky, I'm not even trying to like do this whole solidarity thing, but just like, even then, you can just basically tell that sometimes this stuff is just really super like wicked. Anyway, continuing on, Mark chapter 3 verse 24, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And the thing about this is how Esau is Esau's our biggest enemy, but Esau is also his own biggest enemy. And we see that with this, as I just told you with the whole family annihilator thing, and also with these news of how these ICE agents are killing people and abusing their power. And then even this dude, where's this guy? I forgot. Mayor Slock here. The mayor is over here saying, "I do not want you guys in here. You guys need to leave. X, Y, Z, all this stuff like that." All right. So even I don't even know. I don't know who, because you would normally think that ICE agents are going after Jake, but this Edomite woman kind of sounds like she was an Edom. The woman behind the camera sounds like she was an Edomite woman. That's kind of what I feel like. So maybe potentially the person that was in the car was an Edomite, and some stuff happened. Basically, you never know. All right, but that's basically what I'm trying to get at, and how Esau is oppressing Esau. All right, it's not getting any better and all that. All right, so yes, Esau is divide against himself. He's going to try to destroy himself and all that stuff. Next, Matthew 12, verse 26. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So basically, Esau is divided against himself, trying to speak out against, trying to say all these different things like, oh, this man, this Edomite man, is doing all this wickedly. He's a devil. He's this, that, and the third, whatever. And that's basically the pot calling the kettle black, or more specifically, the pot calling the pot a pot. All right, that's basically what it is. Because you have two Edomites pointing the finger at each other. All right, or you have one Edomite saying that this Edomite, even though this the Edomite A is the devil, all right, doing wickedly. And then Edomite A is pointing at Edomite B, saying that look at what he's doing. Look at what Edomite B is doing. All right, while Edomite B is doing something, is definitely doing something evil. But he's trying to. But the funny thing about it is how they're both wicked, but yet they're fighting against. They're both wicked. They're both the same people, but they're fighting against each other. Right? Like that's how crazy things are right now. All right, so. Yeah, Esau is saying that, oh, this devil is doing this stuff, is doing wickedly and all that stuff. All right. Well, just look in the mirror as well. So chapter 10, verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And that's the thing where they were saying that they were supposed to be for protection, but clearly nobody feels protected. Even Edomites. Obviously, Jake doesn't feel protected, but even Edomites are saying all this stuff about how they don't feel protected. They feel scared now. They're scared. They feel scared with the presence of ICE. All right. So ICE is ICE's presence. ICE's presence in the kingdom. ICE's presence in Babylon is causing people to be scared and stuff like that. So people are just trying their best to avoid this red devil, trying to, abuse his power. And we see, where is it? We see Esau is, abusing his power. And that's the thing. When the I don't know how many Jakes were deported, but basically now that their target pool of oppression has lessened, it just seems like they're targeting other Edomites to oppress as well. All right, and on top of that, they're also destroying their own people, as we read in Sirach chapter 10, verse 3. It says, "An unwise king destroys his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be held." So this unwise king, DJT, he's destroying his own people, and his own people are only now, but not all of them, but a lot of them are starting to see like, no, this is I regret this. Like we regret voting for him. We regret doing all this stuff. We regret X, Y, and Z. Like only now they're seeing this stuff pop off. All right. Where am I? Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. And that basically the thing where the curses, all the stuff that we were going through, that we are going through, it's slowly being sent over to our enemy Esau Edom, and we just have to be patient, wait for the Lord to finally deliver us. So with that, brothers and sisters, I finally want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Hashem, Yahawashi, Hashem, Quadash, that will honor to the elders and apostles of the Son of God, SHAMAIWAN.